do you have any questions for me about metal vocals and learning metal vocals? Following on from my last video where I talked about some of the barriers to me getting started as an actual teacher, I had an idea that since a lot of you have been asking for tutorials anyway, maybe what I could do is you could ask me a question and then I could do some kind of video reply, a bit like how with shorts we did a bit of a Q&A and I answered some of your questions there, and then also in shorts I asked for some vlog topics and then I've done a bit of that as well. We could also do it for metal vocals, so if you have a particular question for me, you could potentially like write it down in the comments, and if it's something quick I could just make it as a short and link it back to your comment, or if it's something longer I could do like for those longer vlogs, feature your comment and then yeah, make a longer vlog tutorial type thing about it, yeah, answering your metal vocal questions. Also, if you wanted to film yourself, you could film it as a short and then I could either reply using the shorts reply feature, a bit like back in the early days of YouTube where you could do video responses, or if you're asking a more complicated question, I could put your video into one of mine and then sort of discuss it in a longer form and be able to show people what sound you're making and then give my interpretation and what you could be doing. I don't know, that could be kind of interesting. It could be a way to, like, because you have been asking for tutorials but I don't know what you want to learn, that's one way to solve that. But also a way for me to get kind of started with teaching in a kind of a chill way, like instead of having structured lessons with people and trying to work out how much I need to charge people, because that's another thing that I haven't even begun to think about. I don't know how much my experience is worth, and I don't know, it's kind of an awkward topic and I don't know what the going rates are and all this kind of stuff. So I'm talking like for free, right? If you ask me a vocal question or you film yourself asking that question, and make sure you send it to me or tag me, or yeah, I think there's a way to tag me. Otherwise, I do have like a form on my website. You could be like, hey, I filmed this, just to make sure that I see it. Otherwise, comment here or somewhere on my channel. Yeah, that could be a way to get started. If I can answer some of your questions, that'll probably help me think, yeah, maybe I could be a teacher in the time like between now and actually getting my studio space back and having the conversation with my parents to get the space set up, or, you know, getting my stuff together to be able to do online lessons and how do you organize that. Like, there's things that I need to work out. In the meantime, until I can do that, this could be a way to do things. Also, I made a short recently about asking what songs you want me to cover, because that's something I want to do when I get my studio back. And I realized I can start practicing that now. I'm actually going to go through and look at my past covers, because people used to request things in that and I didn't actually keep a good record of them. So I'll go back, look at what people have requested in the past, also the songs that you've requested in that short. But in this video, if you want to leave me some comments requesting some songs for me to try to cover, yeah, I'm gonna make a list and then I'll start listening to them. And maybe what I need to do, because I think there's quite a few, maybe what I need to do is create a short list and then in my community tab have you guys vote on what I should do first, and then I can sit down, learn it, either find a backing track or start analyzing the song so I can create my own backing track. If I create my own backing track, we're going to turn metal into industrials. It's going to be weird, but my vocal type is a bit weird anyway. The way I sing is a bit different to some of what's popular out there, so I'm going to have to adapt things one way or another. Like, for example, a lot of you know, metalcore kinds of bands and, you know, more contemporary rock pop kinds of singing, that tends to be more chest voice, which I'm better at than I used to be, but it's not where I feel most comfortable. I feel most comfortable in my head voice, which is, you know, often used in classical. It's also used in opera. I don't really sing opera. I could mimic opera, but I wouldn't call myself anything resembling an opera singer. I could just try and get close, but like I call my head voice a sort of semi-classical, because I kind of self-taught most of it. But yeah, it is in that more classical style. So metal does use it. For example, symphonic metal, Nightwish, Within Temptation. But if you ask me to sing a chest voice song where they're belting and they have high notes, but it's not quite using their head voice, I'm probably going to use my head voice, because it depends on the song, but I may change things. Like, for example, my Talking Heads cover, I know was not popular with a lot of people because I did change a lot to make it my style instead of his style. He uses a lot of chest voice and fry screaming, whereas I tend to prefer head voice and false chord growling. So yeah, some of your song choices I will definitely change to be my own style. Also, if you ask me for pop, I can't guarantee I'll sing them like pop. I may want to screw them around and make them my own style, so we'll see what happens. Yes, I know I will get to Taylor Swift eventually. I just haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it. Now, the thing is, if I can't find a good backing track to use, and I do have to make my own backing tracks, then I do have to wait for my studio space so I can actually have my computer and sit down with my monitors and all my actual gear to program the sounds myself. Yeah, so it's better if I can find a backing track. If you find me a backing track that I'm allowed to use, that would be kind of helpful. But yeah, anyway, so those are some things about me doing covers again. I want to get back into it, and I want to, like, if you have any other ideas for music related videos I could do, please do leave a comment, because if I'm going to try and do this right, I should really try and go all in and get back into music properly, creativity in general. But I feel like the universe is pushing me more towards music again, and it is one of those things that I've kept up some level of skill as opposed to other hobbies I've had where I've kind of just let them go. For example, electronics, I can't even remember half the things about that. It would take me a while to sit down and remember stuff, and I could probably still solder something, but I would have to, like, in terms of fixing mic cables, for example, I'd just have to go and look things up and remember which thing connects to what. So there's like things like that that I've forgotten. Yeah, but music, at least with my vocals, I've definitely kept up, like, being able to make the sounds. I haven't done so well with violin, and I've certainly haven't gone very far with guitar. There was a point where, I think on Patreon actually, I showed off me playing a solo for one of the Rainbow Death Ray songs that we didn't release because I thought, you know, trying to get a guitarist back to help me out was going to be impossible. So I can play the chugs okay, because Rainbow Death Ray songs were actually quite simple, very much about power chords, except for the one song that our new guitarist wrote, which I couldn't even begin to play. But yeah, I was trying to, like, write my own solo and play the solo so that I could record it myself and maybe release a demo one day, and I got kind of good but then forgot about it because me poor little fingers got so sore. I'm used to how my fingers feel on violin, not on guitar strings. Guitar strings are nasty. So yeah, I got out of practice with that. But vocals, yes. Anything else that I might happen to know about music? Now keep in mind, I'm not a normal metalhead. I don't keep up to date with, like, all the popular bands. I don't know a lot of the terminology in terms of, like, what specifically defines different genres. I'm not a sort of elitist who makes a huge distinction between metal and core. You know, like, I know that, like, the hardcore type stuff has roots in punk and, like, emo and so on, and so metalheads sometimes view it as, like, completely different, but to me it's all just heavy music, and I like heavy music. So yeah, I'm not that type of metal nerd, but if there's something in particular you want to ask that you think I might be able to answer and that might do well in a video, in video format rather than me writing a text comment back to you, yeah, feel free to give me some ideas. And maybe, you know, if we do this where you ask me some metal vocal questions, maybe ask me for some help with your metal vocals, and if I know, then I will try and answer. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the level of, you know, Tony Linky, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and also Aliki Catriao. Sorry, I'm probably butchering their names, but, you know, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on their level. But maybe I can give you my interpretation and, you know, give you some quick tips and answer questions in a different way to how they answer questions. That could be useful. Yeah, if you ask me the metal vocal questions, give me some covers, suggestions, requests, and anything else you want me to talk about music-wise. Maybe that'll help me get my brain into more of a music mindset again, and even if I can't make all the videos now, I can start planning them for when I do have, hopefully, my space back and everything sorted. Yeah, I could get sort of that initial stuff going, and we can see where it goes from there, and it could be kind of fun. Also, like, you know, instead of talking about how miserable I am on YouTube all the time, I could talk about something a bit more positive and yeah, instead of playing video games all the time. I don't know, at some point I should probably organize some live streams so that we can just chat again and maybe you could ask me stuff live, but until, I think that's definitely not going to happen until July or later. But that is something that I'm thinking about as well. At some point I should probably do a poll on like what times are the best for the most people. So yeah, actually keep an eye on my community tab, because if I need to ask questions like to get you to vote on a cover or vote on who knows what, and like live streaming times, yeah, that's where I'm going to write it. I know I do have other social media, but my social media presences are kind of compartmentalized. Like I have my YouTube audience, and I have my Instagram audience, and I have my Facebook kind of not audience. not like my Destroy America page. It's more my personal page, and I don't even use it that much because Facebook's censorship AI is like one of the worst going around, and they will ban me for crazy stuff. The weirdest one I got is I took a photo of my Fight Club DVD because I was about to watch it, and I got hit for like fraud or something. And I'm like, I was just saying I'm going to watch Fight Club, but maybe that's Facebook telling me that I'm not allowed to talk about Fight Club. So I guess that could be kind of funny, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they were trying to do. So yeah, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on Facebook anymore, so I don't use it so much. Instagram, I kind of just post when I'm wearing an interesting outfit. It's kind of just visual because my audience seem to be people who are mostly into visuals, and the comments that they leave are often just emojis. So it's not exactly the most thoughtful audience that I have, but YouTube is where the fun is for me now. So yeah, community tab. I know YouTube doesn't always notify people of it properly. Maybe you have to ring the bell thing. Like I know I don't tell people to like, subscribe and comment, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the bell that they all say. But maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's a way to keep up to date more if you want to have updates on these things. So yeah, I know because sometimes I do things like gaming live streams that most people are not interested in, or ant videos. I know how much you guys love ant videos. I know there's reasons you might not want to turn on notifications for my stuff. I will try to do more music, but because I am a creature of chaos, I will still be posting ant videos on occasion. So I warn you at that, but yeah, I'm sorry I'm not a proper YouTuber and I don't stick to a niche, but that's just how I am. Anyway, yeah, anything else, if you have other ideas related to this stuff, feel free to leave a comment, because yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to think for myself, like, I don't even know, like, because I don't connect well with the outside world. I don't know what people want. Like, sometimes I think something is low value, but it turns out other people are really into it. So if you have some insight into that, because I'm so socially clueless, yeah, go for it. And I'll do my best. I'll try. I will, because I'm tired of feeling depressed so much. And like, I've spent most of this year in another really bad, like, this is one of the worst sort of periods that I've had in a while. And I think it's partly because I understand my trauma better. And so instead of blocking it out and being in denial, I've had to actually deal with some of it. Yeah, but I'm tired of, yeah, like, I'm stuck in this world. I've got to try and make the best of it. And yeah, I want to try and just not be like that and try and find some better emotions, or at least distractions from emotions. So let's try and make some more positivity in this channel. I don't know, we'll see how we go, but yeah, thank you. And I don't know, maybe if I can get more committed to my creativity, then I will get more on top of all the other tasks. For example, releasing more merch, and when I get my space back, releasing more music, doing more art and so on. And in the meantime, I'm just sort of in this planning phase, and it would be good to have stuff to work on. I know I'm rambling. It would be good to have stuff to work on, like suggestions about covers, or yeah, no, your questions. That was the point. Your questions about metal vocals. That's the main thing. It's something that I could maybe do between now and actually being able to be a teacher. So that's the point. Okay, brain, we finally got back around to the topic. I'm sorry, I know I meander. I better finish this up and go home and have some tea, or should I read a book a bit? Because I think I still have a bit of time before I'm needed back home. I don't know, we'll see. And practice some more. Oh, I've got to actually practice some vocals as well, which I should go home and do because I don't have my music here. Practice vocals, drink lots of water, take care of your voice. If you need a day of vocal rest, do that. There's me being a teacher. Okay, stuff and things. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!